Hi everyone, I'm Haru, and in today's video I want to tell you why I haven't been uploading any video for so long, how moving to France changed my life, and about the disease that almost killed me. Those of you who follow me on Instagram might already know that I have moved to France in November. Those of you who are interested in how I managed moving with my cats can check out my video on my YouTube channel about my cats, 3 Angels for Haru. I have uploaded the video there. Let's talk about my background first. Why did we move to France? My family is half French actually, so my mother is from France originally, and in my childhood we were in France every summer. So I have a very good connection to France and to the French language through my grandparents. Actually, we talked about moving to France for 10 years or more and it was always a dream we had. Why is that? Well, it's because we didn't feel at home in Germany. We never did. Yes, there was a lot of racism there, and I don't say that there is no racism in France at all, but I think the racism in Germany is much worse and it's much more obvious. People in France do believe that being polite is very important, so they wouldn't just stare at you or, just say racist things, because it's just, you don't do that in public. In Germany, we had problems with finding friends and with finding a job, and we were just different, and we always felt different. I felt different for my whole life. The older I got, the more difficult it got. I was depressed for, I think, for 20 years. There's something about Germany, it's in the German mentality. I think they are not very fond of aesthetics. But for me, aesthetics is just something that gives me inner peace, and I love having aesthetics everywhere in my life. If you go to a park, it's just green, they have just the green grass and some trees, and that's it. There's just nothing special, nothing aesthetic at all. In France, you always have some statues, gardens with flowers, you have little cottages. I do take photos or videos for Instagram, and I need those backgrounds, It's just something that's important for my soul, but also for my work. I like that about France. The people are, I would say, much more social. Like, for example, in Germany, if you talk to strangers, you just simply don't do that. But in France, it's natural, it's just a normal thing. You just talk to others, like, for example, when you go to a flea market or you're just going shopping, it's always something, just casually talking to others, it's just normal. And they do like giving compliments also. I received many compliments since I've moved here. Like, oh, I like your headscarf, it's very beautiful, or oh, I like your style, what a great outfit. People are very kind-hearted. The French are a little bit chaotic, as most people say. And that's okay, it's just okay to be yourself. You can wear whatever you want, you can walk around, you can be loud. In Germany, they don't like people who are different. It's considered unpolite. And also my mother and I, we are kind of sensitive. So I cry very easily. It's really, I laugh a lot, but I also cry a lot. But in Germany, you shouldn't show your emotions. It's considered a weakness. And in France, I can be free. I can be however I want. Nobody will judge me. I will also show you my new flat in another video, because that's something very important I want to talk about. The option to buy old furniture, to buy vintage furniture and vintage clothing too. So there are vintage shops, a few in Germany, but sometimes they are very expensive, especially when it's about furniture. And they are rare, so it's very difficult if you don't have the right size or you don't have so much money. It's very difficult to find things. But in my next video, I'm gonna show you my whole new furniture. It's such a difference. Really, it makes a difference how you feel inside. To talk about something that has changed but is not so great. People in Germany are richer than people in France. But I don't know how they do it. But things in France are actually more expensive than in Germany. As soon as you don't buy something to eat, it's very expensive. And that's something that really shocked me when I came here. I don't understand why. That's something I would consider better in Germany than in France. So now let's talk about another topic. Let's talk about my disease. It was only a few weeks after moving that I got a crisis actually. So I felt very, very bad. And I had fevers every evening for many, many weeks. I just lost my appetite. I started vomiting a lot and I got weaker and weaker. And just so you know, maybe you already saw it, I have lost 20 kilograms in 2 months. Yeah, after a few months I looked almost dead. It was just like a walking dead. And actually we all thought I would die. So my whole family prepared for it. We went to a doctor, but it took her a little time to find out what I have. And this is also something I cannot say this is especially because it's in France. Maybe it's just because it was so obvious. But we found out in the end that this disease is a disease I already had when I was 13 years old. And it just got worse and worse over the years. So I went to one doctor after another in Germany. And none of them really tried helping me. So I told them about all my problems. Like, for example, when I was 13, it started with my joints started hurting a lot. And there was no reason. And they just said, we can't find anything. And then I started having many problems. I started feeling weak. I started sweating a lot. And it's always the same. It was always like, oh we did take a blood test and you don't have enough iron in your blood. So you should take iron, and that will that will cure you. It's okay. And like my joints, it started with the knees, but then more and more joints started hurting. But they couldn't find anything when they checked. So they just said, okay, there is nothing. And I don't understand how a doctor. I mean, it's their job. How can a doctor say, if I don't see anything, then there is nothing? But I feel it a lot, and I couldn't move on some days. I can't say that this is a thing, that this is the problem of German doctors, because I don't know it. The French doctors, they took it very seriously, but maybe not because they're French. Maybe because just it was so obvious, because I lost so much weight, and I couldn't move without help. I was so weak in the end that I couldn't go to the toilet on my own. My mother had to almost carry me there. My doctor told me to go to the hospital. And there we found a specialist for inner medicine. And when he heard the symptoms, he said, I know what that is. A very rare disease that's called the Still syndrome. It's kinda, I don't know how you say it actually in English. I will look it up. Arthritis. Is that the right word? Arthritis? Okay, so that's what it is actually. And they still don't really know how it actually happens. So we don't know if it was an illness I had that caused it, but they are not sure. It could be stress too. They don't know why some people get it. It's very special. So I must really say that my German doctors, they couldn't really know it. I mean, they should have done more blood tests. And that's typical for this disease. Your body is actually not able to use the iron. You know, there is iron naturally through eating. For example, when you eat spinach, then you have eaten iron too. So there is iron in my blood, but the body can't take it and use it. It's just, it floats around and stays like this, and the body just can't take it. So it has not enough iron, and then I have an anemia. I just have not enough iron in my blood, but still I have much, and that causes a problem with my liver. My liver just couldn't take all of this poison. The iron worked like poison, and the liver had to get rid of it actually, but it couldn't. It was just too much, and that wasn't easy for me at all. I really had problems with it, as some of you might already know if you follow me on Instagram. I have BPD. So I do have my problems with anxiety and with depressions, and I just couldn't part from my cats. It was so difficult for me. But my doctor told us if I don't do it, I will die. And I was already almost dead, so I did have to go. And I got vitamins there. I got a blood transfusion, and now thanks to that doctor I'm still alive. So yeah, it was a very hard time for all of us, and if it weren't for my mother, I wouldn't have made it, because I was so weak I couldn't go to the hospital or to the doctor alone. I couldn't even go to the toilet, so it was impossible. And she's a strong woman. I must say this, she's a strong woman, because she had to take all of this and still take care of my siblings too. She had to take care of everything, because my father is not here yet. He has stayed in Germany because he didn't find a job here yet. I don't wish others to go through this, but I think I grew through it actually, and maybe it was good for me. It's a new beginning, but a real new beginning. I mean, I thought it's a new beginning because I moved, but no, this is actually really a new beginning. It's a gift I got from God. That's how I see it. And now I appreciate everything much more than before. I mean, I already appreciated a lot, but now I'm so thankful for everything. And I will show you which treatment I have to do. So let me show you my medicine. As you already can see, it's March. And let's start with the injections I already mentioned. The medicine is called Kineret or Anakinra. It's a very special medicine, and it looks like this. So I have to take an injection every morning into my belly. Yeah, that's a part I don't like. It's a difficult part. Once in a month I have to take these. That's simply vitamin D, because I don't have enough of it actually. When I went to the hospital, my doctor told me that I didn't have any at all. Vitamin D is very important for your health. So I have to take a high dose of it every month. Then I have to take one of these pills every day. That's cortisone. I think you call it like that in English. Then once a week I have to take this. And there might be some unlucky of you who already know this. This is a medicine that's made for chemotherapy. So people who have cancer take this. It has many side effects that are not so nice. And yes, it's a very strong medicine, and we weren't so happy about it, but I just don't have a chance if I don't take it, so I don't have a choice. And because of this one, I need to take this. First I take this one once a week, and after 48 hours I have to take this. This is folic acid, maybe? I don't know, I'm not sure about it, but yeah, it's because the medicine takes away the folic acid of my body, so I have to give it back. Yeah, that's how it works. So it's March, as you see. If you notice that you have problems like this too, please don't hesitate going to a doctor. And if the first doctor doesn't recognize it and says there is nothing, just don't give up. Go to the next one, please, because it is very dangerous to have a disease like this one. And I hope I could help those who might have a disease like this. And yes, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And if you have any further questions, you might just put them into the comments under this video or just contact me through Instagram. And yeah, I hope to see you soon for my next video. So, bye!